Well, diplomatic efforts to reach a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas are ramping up. Hamas delegations in Cairo to meet with mediators from Egypt and Qatar. The CIA director, William Burns, is also there. The Israelis are yet to send their delegation, and it's not clear when that will happen. Sticking points remain as Hamas demands Israel end the war in Gaza permanently, and that's something Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government is refusing to do. In Rami Khouri, he's a distinguished public policy fellow at the American University of Beirut. He joins us live from Boston. Rami, always good to have you with us. So look, I mean, there's still some cautious optimism that a ceasefire deal can be reached in Cairo, but we've been down this road before, haven't we? So how far apart are both sides, do you think?
Well, they're still far apart, but less far apart than they were a week or two ago. Clearly, there's movement. You know, one signal that you can always assume means something is going on. When Bill Burns, the CIA director, joins the talks, it means that there's something serious happening. The reports you just had from your correspondents clearly indicate that everybody is under pressure. The Israelis, the Hamas, the Americans are under intense pressure here, the American government, with all these student uprisings. So everybody wants a deal, but nobody wants to make a deal where he has to make more concessions than the other person.
And that's an interesting point you make, Rami. Let's just talk about Hamas's position, because earlier a spokesman for Hamas said that, you know, the group needs a guarantee from the US that Israeli forces won't launch an offensive on Rafah and that Hamas won't agree to a truce that doesn't end the war. But let me ask you, Rami, I mean, will Hamas need to therefore, as you say, concede on what it sees as its red line to move this deal forward?
Everybody will concede a little bit if they get what they really want. Everybody, in every negotiation that's ever happened in the world. If somebody doesn't totally defeat the other side and they start negotiating, they're going to make some mutual concessions. The problem that Hamas has is that it's not clear what public opinion is like in Gaza now, after all the tremendous suffering that the people have experienced, and we can't tell because public opinion polling is not so easy to do, and a lot of people are scared to speak openly.
Okay.
In a
So let's just talk about the Israelis, and I mean, they haven't even sent a delegation to Cairo yet, and they've insisted that deal or no deal, the Rafah offensive will go ahead. But with domestic and US pressure mounting on Netanyahu, how much wiggle room does he actually have, briefly?
He always has a little bit of wiggle room, and he tries to expand that by sending different messages to different audiences. One of the problems in a situation like this is that whatever anybody says, it could be factual, it could be wishful thinking, it could be for domestic political advantage, and it could be to hold off foreign pressures. So probably about 30-40% of what people say, like officials, Israeli or American or Hamas, is probably totally accurate. Hamas doesn't say much in public because they're very concerned about giving away information. But so, yeah, he does. He's in great stress, Netanyahu, and it's increasing.
Rami, just a final thought to you on the US position. I mean, the Biden administration, as you said, is facing mounting political pressure, particularly at home, plus it's an election year in the US. So what real leverage does Biden have over Israel to move this deal forward?
On paper, Biden has total leverage if he wants to exercise it. And we've seen this in the past. I mean, going way back in the past when Begin was attacking Lebanon and the president of the U.S. got him out. And when the Sinai operation in 1956, Eisenhower called the Israelis and they got out. So, yeah, they have total leverage because Israel can't do anything militarily without the United States. And without the protection of the U.S. diplomatic reason. But the president is hesitant to use that power. What we've seen from the U.S. is a lot of verbal pressuring and threatening and cajoling without carrying through. For instance, Blinken made 75 trips, or whatever, 7 trips, I think, to increase humanitarian aid to Gaza, saying the Israelis have promised to do it. And it's increased maybe 10% or 15%.
Okay.
It's nominal, nothing.
All right, Rami Khouri, always good to get your thoughts and analysis. Rami, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.